But quiet yourselves. The land through which the river Nilus wanders in one stream is barren, but where he parts into seven, he multiplies his fertile shores by distributing, yet keeping and improving, such as property and nutrition, as is a prudent agrarian unto a well-ordered commonwealth. Nor, to come unto the fifth assertion, is a political body rendered any fitter for industry, by having one gouty and another withered leg, than a natural. It tendeth not unto the improvement of merchandise, that there be some who have no need of their trading, and others that are not able to follow it. If confinement discourage industry, an estimate in money is not confined, and lest industry should want whereupon to work, land is not engrossed, nor entailed upon any man, but remains at her devotion. I wonder whence the computation can arise that this should discourage industry. 2,000 pounds a year a man may enjoy in Oceana, as much in Panopea, 500 in Marpesia. There be other plantations, and the Commonwealth will have more. Who knoweth how far the arms of our agrarian may extend themselves, and whether he that might have left a pillar may not leave a temple, or many pillars, unto his more pious memory? Where there is some measure in riches, a man may be rich, but if you will have them to be infinite, there will be no end of starving himself, and wanting that what he hath, and what pains does such an one take to be poor? Furthermore, if a man shall think that there may be an industry less greasy or more noble, and so cast his thoughts upon the commonwealth, he will have leisure for her, and she riches and honors for him. His sweat shall smell like Alexander's. My lord Philautus is a young man who, enjoying his 10,000 pounds a year, may keep a noble house in the old way, and have homely guests, and having but two, by the means proposed, may take the upper hand of his great ancestors, with reverence unto whom I may say there hath not been one of them would have disputed his place with a Roman consul. My lord, do not break my heart. The nobility shall go unto no other ploughs than those from which we call our consuls. But saith he, it having been so with Lacedaemon, that neither the city nor the citizens was capable of increase, a blow was given by that agrarian which ruined both. And what are we concerned with, that agrarian or that blow? While our citizens and our city, and that by our agrarian, are both capable of increase? The Spartan, if he made a conquest, had not citizens to hold it. The Oceaner will have enough. The Spartan could have not trade. The Oceaner will have all. The agrarian in Laconia, that it might bind on knapsacks, forbidding all other arts but that of war, could not make an army of above 30,000 citizens. The agrarian in Oceana, without interruption of traffic, provides us in the fifth part of the youth an annual source of fresh spring of 100,000, besides our provincial auxiliaries, out of which to draw marching armies, and as many elders, not feeble, but men, most of them in the flower of their age, and in arms for the defense of our territories. The agrarian in Laconia banished money. This multiplies it. That allowed a matter of 20 or 30 acres to a man. This 2 or 3,000. There is no comparison between them, and yet I differ so much from my lord or his opinion that the agrarian was the ruin of Lacedaemon, that I hold it no less than demonstrable to have been her main support. For if, banishing all other diversions, it could not make an army of above 30,000, then, letting in all other diversions, it must have broken that army. Wherefore, Lysander, bringing in the golden spoils of Athens, irrevocably ruined that commonwealth, and is a warning to us that, in giving encouragement unto industry, we also remember that covetousness is the root of all evil, and our agrarian can never be the cause of those seditions threatened by my lord, but is the proper cure of them, as Lucan noteth well, in the state of Rome before the civil wars which happened through the want of such an antidote. Hinc usura vorax, rapidumque in tempore finus, hinc concussa fides, et miltis utile bellum. Why then are we mistaken, as if we intended not equal advantages in our commonwealth unto either sex, because we would not have women's fortunes consist in that metal which exposeth them unto cut purses. If a man cut my purse, I may have him by the heels or by the neck for it, whereas a man may cut a woman's purse and have her for his pains in fetters. How brutish, and much more than brutish, is that commonwealth which preferreth the earth before the fruits of her womb. If the people be her treasure, the staff by which she is sustained and comforted, with what justice can she suffer them by whom she is most enriched, to be for that cause the most impoverished? And yet we see the gifts of God and the bounties of heaven in fruitful families, through this wretched custom of marrying for money, become their insupportable grief and poverty. Nor faileth this so heavy upon the lower sort, being better able to shift for themselves, as upon the nobility or gentry. For what availeth it in this case, from whence their veins have derived their blood, while they shall see the tallow of a chandler sooner converted into that beauty which is required in a bride? I appeal whether my lord Philautus or myself be the advocate of nobility, against which, in the case proposed by me, there would be nothing to hold the balance. And why is a woman, if she may have but 1,500 undone? If she be unmarried, what nobleman allows his daughter, in that case, a greater revenue than so much money may command? And if she marry, no nobleman can give his daughter a greater portion than she hath. Who is hurt in this case? Nay, who is not benefited? If the agrarian give us the sweat of our brows without diminution, if it prepare our table, if it make our cup to overflow, and above all this, in providing for our children, anoint our heads with that oil which taketh away the greatest of worldly cares, that what man that is not besotted with a covetousness as vain as endless can imagine such a constitution to be his poverty, seeing where no woman can be considerable for her portion, no portion will be considerable with a woman, and so his children will not only find better preferments without his brokage, but more freedom of their own affections. We are wonderful severe in laws that they shall not marry without our consent, as if it were care and tenderness over them. But is it not lest we should not have the other 1,000 with this son, or the other £100 a year more in jointure for that daughter? These, when we are crossed in them, are the sins for which we water our couch with tears, but not of penitence. seeing whereas it is a mischief beyond any that we can do unto our enemies, we persist to make nothing of breaking the affection of our children. But there is in this agrarian an homage unto pure and spotless love, the consequence whereof I will not give for all the romances. An alderman maketh not his daughter a countess till he have given her 20,000 pounds, nor a romance a considerable mistress till she be a princess. These are characters of bastard love. But if our agrarian exclude ambition and covetousness, we shall at length have the care of our own breed, in which we have been curious as to that of our dogs and horses. The marriage bed will be truly legitimate, and the race of the commonwealth not spurious.